Hi everybody, welcome to the Catholic Martial Artist. In this video today, we're going to go over my recommendations for how to pick a good martial art style and how to pick a good school. Now to give you guys some context and background, I've been doing martial arts for over 20 years. I currently have a martial arts school in Texas, and I've been doing boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts. I've done some Kendo, I've done some Gumdo, I've done a lot of martial art styles, right? And I can tell you, there's two different kinds of ways to look at it. If you are someone who's just trying to get in shape, basically any martial art can do that for you, right? And honestly, getting in shape has more to do with your diet than with the activity you do, although the activity you do does help. And you can easily kind of survey, right? Like if you're looking at a gym or a dojo and you want to join, look at the people attending, right? Look on Instagram, see, okay, are people in shape, right? And you can tell, right? You can just easily tell in that way. So that's the first thing. Second thing is if you are looking for self-defense, right? Maybe you want to learn how to defend yourself, you want to know how to fight, how to protect your family, then that's where things are going to get a little bit more narrow, at least in my opinion, okay? So when it comes to self-defense, when it comes to fighting, there are three main ranges you need to be aware of: the striking range, the clinching range, and the ground range, right? So what to do if you're pinned on the ground or pinned against the wall, things like that, where you aren't standing up, you're on your back, things like that, right? And the three martial arts I recommend that can help you address all of these would be, or four, I should say: boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. These four martial arts um, are the top, I think, the top thing that's going to get you started. Now, notice I didn't say Taekwondo or karate. Now, again, I have nothing against Taekwondo, nothing against karate. I personally do Taekwondo. I'm a fourth degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I love Taekwondo. But what I have discovered, right, over my years of training is that most Taekwondo schools, not all, again, I know there's definitely exceptions, most Taekwondo schools are not going to be addressing all of those things I just mentioned. Okay, they're mostly going to be addressing the long range, which is good because, quite honestly, if you can maintain a good distance and a good range from people, you're going to get out of fights, right? And honestly, the best fight is the one you avoid, right? Um, so that's good, but you still are missing the middle range and the up close range. Now, again, I know some Taekwondo people might comment below, say like, we practice jiu-jitsu. It's like, that's great. That's great. I'm just saying in general, okay? In general, and you might be the exception, okay? But generally speaking, that's what happens. Now, I also didn't say Krav Maga. Now, Krav Maga, a lot of it's a very popular martial art because it teaches Israeli self-defense, right? Very straightforward, militaristic, um, hit and get out, right? And they even have things like how to deal with knives, how to deal with guns, things like that. And I can tell you honestly, I haven't really experienced it, so I can't really speak for it, okay? And I can't say what it's like. However, I do talk to people that do it, and they tell me this. They say there are good Krav Maga schools and bad Krav Maga schools. The good Krav Maga schools usually have a basis in jiu-jitsu, in judo, and boxing, and those arts that I just mentioned, because they recognize that those arts are pressure tested, meaning you are practicing moves against a resisting opponent, right? Now, if you practice something like Hapkido, which is a martial art that I did for several years, it's Hapkido. Hapkido is going to teach you very straightforward techniques, right? Like how to wrist lock, how to get out of, how to do joint manipulation, things like that, which is good, but it usually works on unsuspecting people and by surprise. Now, the average person that's going to attack you, they may be they may be like not have any skill fighting, right? Maybe they're just deciding one day, I'm just going to rob somebody, or they actually have skill. And if I'm, being honest with you, I would practice something that would cover more of your bases than something that's only going to work on the average person. Now, one caveat here. A lot of people tell me this, and I know because I have a school, and they say, well, I don't have time to learn or spend time learning an art like wrestling or boxing or jiu-jitsu, and I'm kind of weak and I'm not really able to handle that. Like I can't handle the intense training that is involved in those martial arts, and I totally get it, right? I understand. Um, So that's when I would say, well, if you really fear for your safety, um, and it's allowed in your state, carry, right? Carry, be strapped. Honestly, that's another option, really, and that trumps everything else, right? It doesn't matter if you're a black belt in 10 different styles or whatever. Somebody has a gun, you're done. It's over, right? That and a knife, right? Now the thing with the knife though is you got to know how to use it. Okay, it's not just something that, oh, I have a knife. Like, no, you got to know how to use it, because it could turn on you, right? If you don't know proper technique with a knife. But generally, these are my recommendations, right? If you want to learn something that's going to teach you self-defense and get you in shape, because they do both, I would stick to learning something like a combat sport. If you want to learn martial arts just for fun, just for fitness, doesn't really matter what you pick. Pick what you're mostly interested in. And again, watch a class, observe it, be very careful in the place you pick, right? I would definitely do some research on the school itself, the members that go there, the instructor. That way you're making a good informed decision, because I know plenty of people who jump into a martial arts school, they sign a contract, and then they feel like they're just kind of left out and left behind, and it's not really, it's not what they wanted, right? So those are recommendations. I know it's a different kind of video today, not really a theological video, but I thought maybe you guys would be interested, because I do see, like, as you guys know, this channel is called The Catholic Martial Artist. There are things in martial arts that you will learn that will only make you a better Catholic, right? And if you don't believe me, I actually did an interview with a Bellator MMA fighter. His name's Karen Clark, 9-0 record, and he's a devout Catholic. So if you're a martial artist and you're like, I wonder what does the Catholic Church have to say about martial arts? You might be surprised. So if you want to watch that interview, click the link down below. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless.